My daughter-in-law, Rebecca Chen, had no idea that when she accidentally left me at San Francisco airport last Friday, she was abandoning Dame Margaret Adelaide Hartwell, the anonymous owner of a $1.2 billion luxury travel empire, who controls the very airline they boarded, the five-star resort they flew to, and could transform their dream vacation into the most expensive lesson about family respect that any ungrateful relatives have ever received. Make sure to hit that like button if you've ever been treated like luggage by family members who forgot basic respect. Drop a comment about your worst travel experience with relatives who took your kindness for granted. And subscribe, because you won't believe what happens when entitled family members discover that the helpless grandmother they abandoned actually controls their entire vacation paradise. The modest senior citizen discount outfit that I wore to San Francisco International Airport last Friday morning. A practical navy cardigan from Walmart that had seen better days, sensible walking shoes from Payless, with orthopedic insoles for comfort, and the kind of rolling suitcase that elderly travelers purchase at Costco for durability rather than style. Created exactly the visual impression that Rebecca and my son David expected from a 70-year-old retired community college librarian who needed family assistance to coordinate international travel and whose fixed income required careful budgeting for what they assumed was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to visit Italy through their generous invitation and vacation planning coordination. The appearance that I had carefully cultivated since my husband Harold's death 12 years ago perfectly reinforced every stereotype about elderly women who depend on Social Security payments and modest retirement savings to cover basic living expenses in a small apartment in Daly City, where the monthly rent of $2,400 consumed most of my apparent income while leaving little discretionary spending for luxury travel, fine dining, or the kind of experiences that younger generations take for granted when planning international vacations and cultural exploration throughout Europe's most prestigious destinations and luxury resort community. My daily routine, as observed by David and Rebecca during their increasingly infrequent visits to my modest apartment, perfectly supported their assumptions about elderly limitations and financial constraints that prevented sophisticated travel planning and international coordination. They saw me every Sunday afternoon at my small kitchen table, carefully reviewing senior citizen discount offers from AAA travel services, organizing tourism brochures in manila folders labeled with destinations I could maybe afford someday, and maintaining detailed budget spreadsheets that prioritized practical expenses over travel dreams and cultural experiences that seemed beyond my financial reach. The prescription medication routine that characterized my bathroom counter and kitchen table provided additional evidence of my supposed financial constraints and health-related expenses that David treated as normal aging processes, rather than strategic performance designed to maintain operational security. The weekly pill organizer with its 7 compartments, each carefully filled with generic medications for blood pressure, arthritis, and cholesterol management, sat prominently next to Medicare paperwork and pharmacy receipts that Rebecca helped me navigate while explaining the importance of understanding coverage limitations and out-of-pocket expenses that can really impact seniors on fixed budgets. The technology limitations that I displayed during family visits provided crucial evidence of generational gaps and learning challenges that prevented elderly people from understanding contemporary travel booking systems and international coordination platforms that younger professionals navigate effortlessly through smartphone applications and online reservation services. When David attempted to show me how to use travel websites or mobile boarding pass systems, I responded with appropriate confusion and resistance, asking repeated questions about security concerns and expressing preference for traditional paper documentation and in-person travel agent assistance that older travelers depend on for guidance and support. The social media absence that characterized my supposed technological limitations extended to email usage, where I maintained a basic Gmail account that I checked infrequently and used primarily for communication with the local senior center and occasional messages from distant relatives who assumed I needed simple, clear instructions for basic computer tasks. The absence of Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or any travel blog presence reinforced assumptions about elderly isolation and limited understanding of contemporary communication methods that younger generations use for travel coordination destination research, and social sharing of international experiences and cultural discovery. The financial planning discussions that David and Rebecca had been conducting on my behalf throughout the past 2 years revealed their systematic preparation for managing my elderly care obligations while minimizing disruption to their professional advancement and lifestyle optimization. The conversations about appropriate senior living facilities with comprehensive services, potential reverse mortgage options for seniors who need additional income, and simplified travel arrangements that don't overwhelm elderly coordination capabilities, consistently treated my supposed limitations as problems requiring their management, rather than recognizing the sophisticated travel authority that had been operating beneath their assumption. The flight confirmation email that David had forwarded to me 3 weeks earlier, with detailed instructions about check-in procedures, baggage restrictions, TSA security guidelines, and airport navigation tips for seniors who might find international travel overwhelming, perfectly reinforced every assumption about elderly technology limitations and travel inexperience that prevented family members from recognizing sophisticated travel coordination capabilities that I had been developing for 47 years through luxury hospitality management and international business operations that spanned 6 continents, 32 countries, and included diplomatic travel protocols that most government officials never experience. The travel insurance documentation that Rebecca had insisted I purchase for comprehensive elderly travel protection included medical evacuation coverage, trip cancellation benefits, and emergency assistance services that she assumed were essential for someone my age traveling internationally without family supervision. Her patient explanations about the importance of understanding coverage details and emergency contact procedures revealed systematic preparation for potential elderly care crises that might require family intervention and emergency coordination during international travel situations. Vacation planning process that had extended over 4 months revealed David and Rebecca's systematic management of my participation as charitable inclusion, rather than family celebration, treating my presence as their generous gesture toward an elderly relative who couldn't afford luxury travel, rather than recognizing that their invitation represented my opportunity to spend quality time with family members who had grown increasingly distant since David's promotion to senior partner at Morrison & Associates international law firm and Rebecca's successful tech startup acquisition by Google had transformed them into Silicon Valley power couple with social positioning requirements and lifestyle management priorities. The accommodation arrangements that David had coordinated for our Italian vacation included a luxury villa rental in Tuscany with separate bedroom areas that would provide Mom with appropriate privacy and independence, while ensuring family time coordination. The booking confirmation that he had shared with me included detailed floor plans, local amenities information, and transportation coordination options that assumed I would need assistance with basic navigation and cultural adaptation throughout our stay in Italy's wine country and cultural heritage site. The restaurant reservations that Rebecca had been coordinating included senior-friendly dining options with traditional menu selections and early dinner timing that accommodates elderly dietary schedules and social preferences. Her research into appropriate cultural activities for mixed-generation travel groups revealed systematic planning that treated my participation as special accommodation rather than normal family vacation inclusion that honored elderly wisdom and travel experience worthy of equal consideration and respect. The travel wardrobe consultation that Rebecca had offered during our vacation planning included suggestions about practical clothing choices for elderly international travelers who need comfort and versatility over fashion coordination, walking tours, and layered clothing options for variable weather conditions, perfectly reinforced assumptions about elderly travel limitations, while missing the sophisticated international travel experience that informed my actual wardrobe planning and cultural preparation. My appearance at the departure gate that Friday morning, arriving precisely 2 hours early with all documentation organized in a clear plastic folder labeled Italy Trip 20 demonstrated exactly the kind of anxious over-preparation that younger generations associate with elderly travelers who lack confidence in modern airport procedures and international flight coordination. The reading glasses perched on my nose as I reviewed boarding passes and passport documentation, combined with my patient questions about gate changes and boarding procedures, created perfect camouflage for someone whose actual travel experience included private jet coordination, diplomatic travel protocols, and VIP airport services throughout major international hubs in London, Tokyo, Dubai, and Singapore. The conversation that I overheard between David and Rebecca while waiting at our departure gate provided comprehensive documentation of their attitude toward my participation in their vacation plans and revealed the systematic elderly management that had been developing throughout our family relationship since Harold's death. "I still think we should have booked Mom her own travel insurance upgrade," David whispered with obvious concern about responsibility coordination. "She's going to need help with everything: restaurant navigation, currency exchange, probably basic Italian phrases for shopping and cultural sites. This is supposed to be our romantic anniversary celebration, not elderly care coordination and supervision." Rebecca's response revealed her systematic preparation for managing my involvement while minimizing disruption to their vacation experience and social positioning requirements. "David, we've talked about this extensively. She's family, and it's generous that we included her in our anniversary trip. We just need to maintain appropriate boundaries about activities and timing coordination. There are plenty of senior-friendly cultural tours and traditional sites that she can enjoy independently while we have our couple time at the luxury resort and wine tastings." The departure gate atmosphere that surrounded our family gathering provided perfect documentation of the social dynamic and travel hierarchy that would soon be systematically revealed and restructured through travel authority coordination and hospitality management that most passengers could never imagine. The first-class passengers who boarded with priority access and premium service coordination representing exactly the kind of luxury travel experience that David and Rebecca assumed was beyond my financial capabilities, while perfectly aligning with my actual travel standards and international hospitality expectations. The airline staff coordination that managed our departure procedures included gate agents who provided patient assistance with elderly passenger coordination, while missing the sophisticated travel authority that was about to transform everyone's understanding of passenger classification, service coordination, and international hospitality management. The boarding announcements that emphasized passengers requiring additional assistance and travelers with special needs coordination created exactly the category where family members assumed I belonged while overlooking the travel industry expertise that informed my actual passenger classification and service expectations. The security checkpoint experience that had preceded our gate gathering included TSA coordination that treated me with respectful assistance while processing my documentation and carry-on items with appropriate elderly travel support. The security personnel who provided patient guidance through screening procedures and offered assistance with shoe removal and personal item coordination demonstrated exactly the kind of travel support that other passengers expected for elderly travelers while missing the sophisticated security clearances and diplomatic travel credentials that were embedded within my seemingly ordinary passport and identification. The airport navigation that brought me to our departure gate included careful observation of terminal facilities, service coordination, and passenger management systems that revealed operational standards and customer service protocols throughout San Francisco International Airport's international terminal. The staff training that I observed during passenger assistance, baggage coordination, and boarding procedures provided comprehensive assessment of service quality and operational efficiency that would inform upcoming travel authority coordination and hospitality management restructuring. Family dynamic tension, that became increasingly apparent during our gate waiting period revealed systematic preparation for vacation management that excluded elderly input while assuming family obligation and charitable inclusion rather than recognizing the travel expertise and cultural knowledge that I could contribute to our Italian vacation experience. The conversation topics that David and Rebecca pursued consistently focused on their professional achievements, social networking opportunity, and romantic celebration priorities, while treating my presence as accommodation rather than enhancement to their travel experience and cultural exploration. The boarding announcement that would ultimately trigger my systematic education about family respect and travel etiquette began with the typical airline hierarchy: first-class passengers with priority boarding and premium service coordination, business class travelers with expedited processing, premium economy passengers with enhanced amenities, and finally general boarding for economy class travelers like myself who appeared to need extra time and assistance with carry-on coordination and seat location within the aircraft's standard service section. The gate agent's patient assistance with my boarding pass scanning, aisle navigation guidance, and polite reminders about carry-on storage created exactly the kind of elderly travel support that other passengers expected, while missing the sophisticated travel authority and international hospitality expertise that was about to transform everyone's understanding of passenger classification, service coordination, and luxury travel management throughout our international flight experience and Italian vacation coordination. As I approached the aircraft entrance and observed David and Rebecca settling into their first-class seats with champagne service, premium amenity coordination, and the kind of luxury travel experience that they assumed reflected their professional success rather than recognizing the travel industry authority that had made their lifestyle and international vacation possible through systematic coordination and hospitality management. Family respect assessment that had been developing throughout our vacation planning process would soon need to evaluate whether their systematic elderly management represented thoughtless convenience or deliberate exclusion that warranted comprehensive education about travel authority, family dignity, and the reality that true luxury travel requires demonstration of character worthy of continued hospitality coordination and family travel inclusion across international destinations and cultural experiences. The transformation of my son David from a loving child who valued relationships and elderly wisdom into someone whose priorities reflected Silicon Valley's success, culture, and professional networking obsessions had been gradual but increasingly apparent over the past 15 years since he graduated from Stanford Law School and entered the competitive world of international corporate law, where success was measured primarily through billable hours, partnership advancement, and client relationship management that emphasized individual achievement over family loyalty and community involvement throughout the demanding legal profession and its associated social obligations. During David's childhood in the when Harold was still alive and our modest home in Palo Alto served as the center for extended family gatherings and educational activities, David would spend entire evenings at our dining room table, working through complex legal reasoning exercises, learning about systematic thinking, analytical problem-solving approaches that I hoped would guide his character development throughout his adult life and professional career in Northern California's competitive legal environment and international business community that required both intellectual capability and moral foundation. Sustainable success. Those early years were filled with family projects that taught David practical skills while building our relationship through shared intellectual accomplishments and cultural exploration. Harold would involve David in home improvement, calculations, and family financial planning, while I taught him advanced research methodologies, critical thinking principles, and the importance of maintaining intellectual humility that linked current achievements to their foundational learning and community support through mentorship and family guidance that honored both individual capability and collective wisdom. The conversations we shared during David's formative years revealed his exceptional analytical intelligence, his curiosity about legal systems and international business coordination, and his genuine interest in understanding the principles that determined which legal professionals achieved sustainable success and which struggled with client development despite impressive academic credentials and technical expertise. When David was 14 years old, he would sit at our kitchen table while I reviewed international business documents from my consulting work, asking thoughtful questions about contract negotiation, international law, and the analytical methods that helped legal professionals make informed decisions about client representation, case strategy, and professional development throughout competitive legal markets. The academic values that Harold and I tried to instill during David's educational development emphasized the importance of intellectual integrity, systematic thinking, and the kind of character development that enables people to succeed professionally while maintaining their moral foundation, family loyalty, and community connections that provide meaning and stability throughout career transitions and professional challenges. We taught David that true success required balancing personal achievement with family responsibilities, that elderly wisdom deserved respect and consideration, and that professional prosperity created obligations to support family members and contribute to community welfare rather than simply accumulating wealth and social status. The educational support that Harold and I provided during David's elementary, high school, and university years included advanced academic tutoring, legal reasoning guidance, and kind of consistent encouragement that helps academically gifted students develop confidence and professional ambition while maintaining cultural identity and family connections that honor heritage and wisdom. When David struggled with constitutional law during his second year at Stanford Law School, I spent countless hours helping him understand complex legal relationships, using practical examples from international business and contract negotiation to make abstract principles relevant to real-world legal practice that he could comprehend and apply to his academic preparation and future career planning. The intellectual development that formed a central part of David's educational foundation included age-appropriate lessons about logical reasoning, systematic problem-solving, analytical thinking, and the importance of maintaining intellectual curiosity while building knowledge through careful study and mentorship that honored both individual capability and collaborative learning. Harold and I established his first legal research environment when he turned 16 years, teaching him to analyze case law while watching his research skills grow through systematic practice and theoretical understanding that demonstrated the power of consistent intellectual discipline and long-term learning strategy. The family activities that we encouraged David to participate in throughout his childhood and adolescence included volunteer work with legal aid organizations in Palo Alto and San Jose, assisting with community fundraising events for educational scholarship, and helping elderly neighbors with basic legal document preparation and estate planning guidance that taught him about the dignity and wisdom of aging while building character through service to others who needed guidance and support. These experiences were designed to develop empathy, responsibility, and respect for elderly community members who had contributed to society throughout their lives and deserved honor and assistance during their later years. The law school preparation process that culminated in David's acceptance to Stanford's prestigious program represented years of academic guidance, financial planning, and character development that enabled him to pursue higher education with confidence, family support, and clear understanding of the sacrifices that Harold and I made to ensure his educational opportunities while maintaining our family lifestyle and community involvement. The partial scholarship that supplemented our financial contribution came through community organizations and academic achievement recognition that reflected not only his individual capabilities but also the family foundation and community connections that supported his development. However, the transformation that would ultimately corrupt David's character and family loyalty began during his second year at Stanford Law School, when his coursework in corporate law and international business introduced him to professional networking culture and competitive career preparation programs. that gradually convinced him that efficiency and optimization should guide personal relationships just as they determined legal strategy and client management that prioritized measurable outcomes over emotional connection and family continuity. The internship experiences that David pursued during his law school years introduced him to corporate environments where success was measured primarily through individual legal contribution, client development metrics, and partnership advancement opportunities that emphasized personal skill development over collaborative teamwork and community involvement that built social capital and mutual support networks. The mentors he encountered in these professional settings consistently emphasized the importance of strategic career planning, personal branding, and calculated networking that treated professional relationships as advancement tools rather than sources of mutual learning and collaborative problem solving. The legal theories that David absorbed during his corporate law program included business models that prioritized efficiency over sustainability, optimization over maintainability, and individual billing productivity over team collaboration, and knowledge sharing that honored collective wisdom and institutional memory as valuable guidance rather than outdated burden that interfered with contemporary legal practice and client service methodology. His professors, many of whom had limited experience with family-owned businesses or community-based legal practice, taught David to evaluate every relationship and commitment according to measurable return on investment and opportunity cost calculation. But perhaps the most damaging aspect of David's law school experience was his systematic misunderstanding of the support systems that enabled his educational success and career preparation. The scholarships that reduced his student loan, the internship opportunities that provided practical experience and professional networking, and the career placement services that connected him with promising employment opportunities all reflected careful coordination through community organizations and financial assistance programs that Harold and I had supported through volunteer work and charitable giving. Though David interpreted this support as evidence of his individual merit and academic achievement, the employment opportunity that David secured immediately after Stanford Law graduation with Morrison & Associates International, a prestigious law firm specializing in corporate transactions and international business throughout the Pacific Rim, represented exactly the kind of strategic career placement that enabled promising young attorneys to gain experience, build industry connection, and develop expertise that would benefit both individual career advancement and regional economic development throughout Northern California's competitive legal markets. The position that seemed perfectly suited to David's educational background, analytical skills, and professional ambition reflected systematic coordination between community organizations and business networks that provided emerging legal professionals with career development opportunities that wouldn't normally be available to recent graduates without extensive industry experience and professional networking. The training programs, client relationships, and advancement opportunities that enabled David's rapid progression from associate to junior partner represented specialized development that most legal professionals received only after years of practice experience. The salary progression that enabled David to transition from apartment living in Palo Alto to a luxury condominium in San Francisco and eventually to his current Marin County estate reflected performance bonuses and partnership distributions that were possible because his legal work consistently achieved superior results through access to professional networks, industry expertise. Rebecca's professional training in technology entrepreneurship and venture capital coordination had taught her to evaluate relationships and commitments according to strategic value, lifestyle enhancement, and measurable outcomes that could be leveraged to influence social positioning and financial advancement that aligned with professional objectives rather than emotional fulfillment or family obligation that required time, energy, and financial resources without providing quantifiable returns on investment. The courtship between David and Rebecca, that developed over 18 months of professional networking and social activities, revealed a worldview that prioritized measurable lifestyle outcomes per strategic, social positioning, and career advancement coordination over relationships, tradition, and the unmeasurable contributions that elderly family members provide through emotional support, historical perspective, and institutional memory that connects current generations to their cultural heritage and community roots. Rebecca's influence on David's thinking about family relationships had been particularly damaging because her apparent sophistication and professional success provided seemingly authoritative validation for attitudes that prioritized convenience and image management over family loyalty and intergenerational responsibility. Her systematic approach to relationship management constantly excluded individuals and activities that couldn't contribute to lifestyle enhancement or social status demonstration, creating a worldview that treated family obligations as inefficient resource allocation. The relationship dynamics that Rebecca established with David consistently minimized the importance of family obligations and elderly care responsibilities, while maximizing focus on professional networking, lifestyle enhancement, and social positioning that demonstrated their material success and career advancement. Their conversations about family planning, financial management, and lifestyle optimization revealed systematic calculation about elderly care obligations that treated family support as budgetary line items rather than expressions of love and respect. The influence operations that Rebecca conducted to reshape David's understanding of success, family relationships, social responsibility were sophisticated psychological manipulation techniques that exploited his natural ambition while systematically undermining his connection to cultural heritage, family value, and community involvement that had previously provided meaning and stability throughout his educational and professional development. Her suggestions about optimizing family time, streamlining elderly care responsibilities, and professionalizing financial support for aging relatives consistently reinforced David's growing impatience with family obligations. The lifestyle changes that Rebecca introduced into David's daily routine and social activities systematically prioritized image management, status demonstration, and social positioning over authentic relationship building, community involvement, and the kind of character development that enables people to succeed professionally while maintaining their moral foundation and family connections that provide stability and meaning throughout economic transitions and life challenges. The social entertainment that Rebecca organized consistently excluded elderly family members and focused on experiences that reinforced their identification with successful professional couples rather than multi-generational family systems that valued wisdom and experience alongside innovation. Their dinner parties featured exclusively young professionals, their vacation planning prioritized adult-only resorts and activities, and their cultural entertainment choices reflected sophisticated tastes that excluded elderly participation and family tradition. The financial planning strategies that Rebecca implemented for their household systematically prioritized lifestyle enhancement, status demonstration, and social positioning over family support, community contribution, and the kind of intergenerational wealth building that enables families to provide security and opportunity across multiple generations. Their investment priorities, discretionary spending patterns, and charitable giving decisions consistently favored causes and organizations that enhanced their social status while reducing support for family members and community organizations. But perhaps the most destructive aspect of Rebecca's influence was her systematic efforts to isolate David from family members and community connections that might challenge her values or question her priorities. Her scheduling of important events that conflicted with family gatherings, her creation of social obligations that required David's attention during traditional family time, and her subtle criticism of cultural traditions and family customs represented coordinated strategy to weaken David's connection to his heritage while strengthening his dependence on her approval. The specific incidents that documented David's transformation from a loving son who respected elderly wisdom into someone whose priorities reflected Rebecca's influence and social positioning obsessions included his systematic reduction of family visit frequency from weekly dinners to monthly obligations, his growing impatience with my supposed technology limitations and financial management needs, and his increasingly condescending attitude toward my community college background and modest retirement lifestyle. that he began to view as embarrassing reminder of his humble origin. The holiday coordination that revealed David's changing priorities occurred during Christmas 2022, when Rebecca scheduled a luxury ski vacation in Aspen that conflicted with our traditional family gathering, requiring David to choose between expensive social entertainment and family obligation that honored elderly tradition and cultural continuity. His decision to prioritize the skiing trip while sending me a brief text message explanation demonstrated systematic devaluation of family relationships in favor of lifestyle experiences that enhanced his social position. The emergency response assessment that provided comprehensive documentation of David's character deterioration occurred during my supposed medical crisis in September. When I contacted him about assistance with urgent prescription medication coordination and transportation to a specialist appointment that required family support and elderly care attention. His response, which prioritized his court schedule and suggested that I coordinate with senior services for alternative transportation solutions, revealed complete transformation from the caring son who had once prioritized family needs above professional convenience. The systematic elderly dismissal that characterized David's behavior throughout 2023 and early 2024 included his growing impatience with my questions about technology, his condescending explanations, appropriate elderly lifestyle management, and his suggestions about senior living facilities that might provide more suitable social environments and age-appropriate activities, rather than depending on family assistance for basic needs and community connection. The vacation planning process that had culminated in our Italian trip revealed the ultimate expression of David and Rebecca's systematic elderly management and family obligation optimization. Their initial invitation, which they presented as generous inclusion of an elderly family member in their anniversary celebration, actually represented carefully calculated charitable gesture that enhanced their social positioning while minimizing their elderly care responsibilities through structured activity coordination and supervised cultural experiences that treated my participation as accommodation rather than celebration. The sophisticated operational infrastructure that I had been maintaining for 47 years, beneath my carefully cultivated persona as a financially struggling, retired librarian, represented one of the most advanced private hospitality and travel management empires in the international luxury industry, built through systematic development of hospitality intelligence networks, guest service coordination protocols, and character assessment frameworks that enable comprehensive client oversight, while maintaining complete operational secrecy and privacy protection that preserved both personal relationships and business empire integrity across multiple generations of luxury travel coordination and international hospitality management throughout the global tourism landscape and competitive luxury service environment. The quantum encrypted communication systems, humming quietly behind the false cabinet panel in my modest Daly City apartment bedroom, disguised as Harold's vintage radio collection that any elderly widow might maintain for sentimental value and nostalgic entertainment, processed over 15,000 daily reservation transactions throughout North America, European markets, Asian destinations, and exclusive resort properties, while maintaining real-time communication with hospitality management systems, guest preference databases, and service quality assessment networks that determined accommodation standards and travel experience coordination across 3 hotel chains, 12 luxury resort properties, and 47 boutique hospitality venues, whose guest satisfaction depended entirely on systems they had never suspected existed beneath their elderly patrons' humble retirement lifestyle and community volunteer activity. The holographic display system that emerged from what appeared to be my basic television entertainment unit provided 3-dimensional visualization of global hospitality performance metrics, luxury travel trend analysis, international tourism market evaluation, and guest behavior pattern assessment that enabled me to identify emerging destination opportunities 24 months before they became apparent to traditional hospitality corporations and travel management firm. The system's ability to model complex service scenarios, including cultural preference analysis, seasonal demand prediction, and competitive positioning assessment, gave Hartwell International Holdings strategic advantages worth hundreds of millions of dollars in predictive market positioning and guest satisfaction optimization decisions that shaped hospitality performance and travel experience quality across economic transitions and cultural innovations. The biometric security systems protecting my hospitality management operations center included facial recognition, voice pattern analysis, retinal scanning, and DNA verification capabilities that international luxury hotel chains and government diplomatic services use for their most sophisticated guest protection and classified information security protocol. The emergency destruction procedures embedded throughout my Daly City apartment could initiate complete data elimination and operational transfer within 37 seconds if unauthorized access was detected, while simultaneously transferring all management control to backup command centers in Monaco, Geneva, and Singapore that maintained identical capabilities and could assume full hospitality administration without interrupting guest services or compromising travel experience quality for clients who depended on seamless luxury coordination and emergency assistance management. But perhaps the most sophisticated aspect of my technological infrastructure was the AI-powered guest character assessment system that monitored behavioral patterns, crisis response indicator, and interpersonal respect demonstration as primary predictors of long-term guest relationship stability and hospitality service worthiness. This system, which I personally designed through consultation with behavioral psychology experts and hospitality management specialists from Cornell University and École Hôtelière de Lausanne, analyzed communication patterns, service interaction decisions, staff treatment priorities, and cultural sensitivity demonstration to create comprehensive character profiles that determined eligibility for continued luxury services and potential exclusive venue access based on authentic respect foundation rather than convenient performance during vacation periods and social entertainment expectations. The artificial intelligence algorithms that coordinated my behavioral analysis capabilities included machine learning systems that I developed using advanced mathematical modeling principles learned during my doctoral studies in operations research at MIT and the hospitality management experience gained through 47 years of systematic luxury service development and character evaluation that began when international tourism was emerging as a global economic sector and hospitality coordination was transitioning from traditional hotel management. Innovative luxury experience approaches that emphasized both service excellence and cultural impact throughout community development and travel industry prosperity. The Hartwell International Holdings operational structure carefully designed through consultation with premier hospitality industry attorneys and family office specialists to maintain both service effectiveness and legal compliance across multiple international jurisdictions, included 63 subsidiary entities that provided specialized services to individual travelers, corporate clients, diplomatic missions, cultural institutions, and community development initiatives throughout North America, Europe, Asia, and extending into emerging luxury markets, had established vacation patterns and built travel relationships with support from service systems they had never recognized or acknowledged as coordinated assistance, rather than standard hospitality industry accommodation and professional service delivery. The primary hospitality division housed the luxury service management and guest experience analysis infrastructure that had generated consistent profit margins, averaging 23.7% annually for 47 consecutive years, building wealth through strategic property acquisition, exclusive venue development, cultural tourism investment, and alternative hospitality strategies that enabled a starting portfolio of $89,000 in 1977 to grow into the $1.2 billion empire that currently provided travel experiences and hospitality services for elite clientele while maintaining sufficient operational capital to weather economic downturns and support emergency coordination across decades of market volatility and tourism industry transitions that challenged traditional hospitality approaches and luxury travel planning. The luxury property coordination that formed the cornerstone of Hartwell International Holdings operations included exclusive ownership relationships with over 180 hospitality venues throughout major international destinations, including premium resort properties in Tuscany, Switzerland, French Polynesia, Japanese cultural sites, and Caribbean luxury islands that generated extraordinary guest satisfaction while supporting cultural preservation and community economic development throughout the global luxury tourism ecosystem. The due diligence processes that evaluated potential property acquisitions included comprehensive analysis of cultural authenticity, environmental sustainability, community impact assessment, guest experience potential that enabled identification of future luxury destinations while they were still developing tourism infrastructure and seeking strategic partnership coordination. The hospitality sector expertise that guided my investment decisions incorporated decades of practical experience with tourism cycles, cultural preference patterns, regulatory framework, and competitive dynamics that determined which destinations achieved sustainable luxury development versus those that failed despite impressive initial investment and marketing attention. The network of cultural advisors, tourism analysts, and academic researchers that supported my hospitality evaluation included some of the world's most respected experts in luxury travel, sustainable tourism coordination, and cultural preservation, from university programs to commercial application. Though they knew me through carefully maintained professional relationships rather than personal interactions that might compromise operational security or family privacy. The resort property portfolio that provided premium guest experiences and cultural immersion included luxury accommodations throughout Tuscany's wine regions, alpine wellness retreats in Switzerland and Austria, Mediterranean coastal resorts in Greece and Croatia, and exclusive cultural experiences in Japan and Thailand that generated consistent guest satisfaction while preserving authentic cultural heritage throughout established luxury tourism markets. The property management coordination that optimized these investments operated through discreet professional services that maintained complete anonymity while ensuring optimal guest experience and cultural positioning that benefited both immediate hospitality, revenue, and long-term destination development strategy. The airline industry investments that provided seamless travel coordination included strategic partnership relationships with premium carriers throughout Europe, Asia, and Trans-Pacific, along with specialized charter services and private aviation coordination that offered guests comprehensive travel solutions while generating steady returns and supporting aviation industry innovation. The airline coordination that balanced guest convenience with operational efficient foundation operations to support both individual travel needs and broader industry development that strengthened transportation networks and built cultural accessibility throughout major international destinations and emerging luxury travel market. The cultural experience coordination that represented Hartwell International Holdings' most sophisticated hospitality frontier included exclusive access arrangements with museums, historical sites, private collections, and cultural institutions that provided guests with extraordinary learning opportunities while supporting cultural preservation and community development. The cultural access management systems that I developed personally included proprietary reservation algorithms, authentication protocol, and experience optimization capabilities that enabled participation and exclusive cultural programs while maintaining operational security and guest privacy throughout rapidly evolving cultural tourism regulations and institutional partnership. The Guest Services Division provided comprehensive travel assistance coordination for all approved clients, including emergency support coverage, cultural interpretation services, special event coordination, and the specialized character monitoring that maintained hospitality standards within cultural literacy and respect education that enabled guests to contribute to destination prosperity while maintaining the behavioral foundation necessary for sustainable travel relationships and cultural stewardship that honored both individual experience and collective cultural wealth across tourism transitions and social changes. The client services that Hartwell International Holdings provided included travel planning consultation, cultural preparation guidance, emergency coordination support, and character development programming that helped guests navigate international travel while building integrity and demonstrating respect that qualified them for continued luxury services and potential exclusive venue access. The programming that we offered through partnerships with cultural institutions, language schools, and educational organizations provided guests with knowledge and skills that enabled meaningful cultural engagement while maintaining destination protection and cultural sensitivity that preserve service eligibility and travel privilege access across generations of tourism development and community contribution. The educational partnership programs that operated through foundation coordination included direct support for hospitality management universities throughout Europe and North America, cultural preservation scholarships for local community members, and professional development funding that enabled career advancement and skill building within the tourism industry. The educational partnerships that we maintained with Cornell University, UCL, and other prestigious institutions provided specialized programming and research opportunities while supporting institutional development and community educational access that benefited thousands of students and hospitality professionals throughout the international tourism industry. The cultural preservation coordination services that foundation operations provided included comprehensive heritage site protection funding, traditional arts and crafts support program, and community cultural development grants that ensured authentic cultural experiences while maintaining community prosperity and cultural continuity. The cultural partnerships that we maintained with UNESCO, local cultural ministries, and community preservation organizations provided guests with authentic cultural access while supporting institutional development and community cultural sustainability that benefited thousands of cultural practitioners and communities throughout major tourism destinations. But perhaps the most strategically important aspect of Hartwell International Holdings operations was the guest character assessment and behavior monitoring network that tracked client interactions, cultural respect decisions, and values demonstration patterns to identify travelers whose character and actions aligned with foundation principles versus those whose behavioral deterioration threatened their continued eligibility for luxury services and exclusive venue access consideration. This monitoring system, coordinated through discrete observation and guest interaction analysis, provided early warning indicators of character failures while offering intervention opportunities that addressed cultural insensitivity before they required more severe consequences that might disrupt destination harmony and cultural preservation. The character evaluation protocols that governed foundation client assessment included comprehensive analysis of cultural interaction patterns, local community respect decisions, service staff treatment indicators, and destination responsibility that revealed authentic values versus convenient performance during vacation periods and luxury travel expectations. The monitoring systems that documented these behavioral patterns operated through normal hospitality interaction while maintaining complete discretion and privacy protection that enabled accurate assessment without compromising guest relationships or creating artificial behavior modification that might obscure authentic character evaluation. The crisis response assessment frameworks that determined foundation support during travel emergencies included evaluation of cultural sensitivity, demonstration,
community respect priority, and destination responsibility that revealed character foundation worthy of continued luxury services and exclusive venue consideration. The assessment protocols that documented crisis response patterns provided comprehensive data about authentic values and moral foundation that predicted long-term guest stability and client worthiness for premium hospitality, access, and cultural privilege coordination. The cultural respect evaluation systems that influenced service access and foundation support decisions included analysis of local community interaction patterns, cultural sensitivity, commitment, and destination preservation priorities that honored cultural traditions while building sustainable relationships worthy of luxury travel stewardship and community cultural leadership. The respect assessment protocols that documented guest behavior during important cultural experiences, early warning indicators of character deterioration, while offering intervention opportunities that could address relationship challenges before they required more serious consequences or service access elimination. The community involvement assessment that influenced foundation support decisions included evaluation of local economic contribution patterns, cultural learning commitment, and social responsibility demonstration that aligned with foundation, mission, and destination development goals. The community assessment protocols that documented guest involvement and cultural activities and local contribution provided additional character evaluation data that supplemented cultural interaction, analysis, and community respect demonstration in determining continued foundation support eligibility, exclusive venue consideration. The relationships I had developed with hospitality professionals, cultural institution directors, and luxury travel coordinators over 47 years of strategic industry leadership provided Hartwell International Holdings with expertise and market access enabled sophisticated guest experience management and cultural preservation support while maintaining complete privacy and operational security that protected guests from knowledge that might compromise their character development or create dependency relationships that could undermine their personal growth and cultural appreciation while building authentic travel experiences and community. The hospitality philosophy that guided all foundation operations emphasized sustainable tourism, cultural preservation, and generational travel education that served guest needs while building character and moral foundation necessary for continued luxury service stewardship and cultural leadership. The policies that governed foundation service provision required ongoing demonstration of cultural respect, community sensitivity, and personal responsibility that maintained foundation integrity while providing guests with opportunities to earn continued access through character demonstration and cultural contribution that honored both individual experience and collective welfare across tourism, transitions, and social changes. The sophisticated intelligence capabilities that I coordinated through partnerships with cultural institutions, community leaders, and hospitality networks enabled Hartwell International Holdings to identify and prevent systematic destination disruption from inappropriate tourist behavior, manipulative travel patterns, and character-corrupting factors that threatened guest eligibility while providing intervention opportunities that protected cultural integrity and foundation mission through appropriate support and guidance that addressed challenges before they required more serious consequences or service elimination that could disrupt destination prosperity and cultural preservation. The academic and professional development partnerships that I maintained with hospitality management organizations, cultural preservation institutions, and luxury travel companies provided theoretical foundations for our practical innovations and character-based travel coordination and value-centered guest selection. The specialists and consultants who contributed to our guest services strategies through professional consulting agreements had no idea that their work contributed to a privately owned hospitality empire. believing instead that they were participating in research projects funded by anonymous grants and tourism development initiatives that supported international destinations and cultural institutions. The legal framework that governed foundation operations included compliance with international tourism regulations, cultural preservation requirements, and fiduciary responsibility standards that protected guest interests while maintaining operational flexibility and privacy protection. The legal partnerships that we maintained with premier hospitality law firms throughout major international destinations provided ongoing consultation and regulatory guidance while ensuring complete confidentiality and operational security that protected foundation, mission, and guest privacy across changing legal requirements and evolving tourism industry environments. The financial optimization strategies that maximized foundation resources and cultural impact included sophisticated estate planning coordination, tax minimization across multiple jurisdictions, and charitable contribution optimization that protected foundation assets while ensuring maximum community benefit and guest service capability. The financial planning partnerships that we maintained with specialized international accounting firms and estate planning attorneys provided optimization and compliance coordination while maintaining complete discretion and privacy protection that enabled optimal foundation performance and guest support across changing financial regulations and economic conditions.
The wealth management coordination that would expose the devastating gap between David and Rebecca's assumptions about my limited resources and the reality of my hidden hospitality authority had been developing for months as their character assessment revealed increasingly problematic patterns of titled expectations, elderly dismissal, and cultural insensitivity that threatened their continued foundation eligibility and luxury service consideration, while providing perfect opportunities for comprehensive character evaluation and potential foundation support restructuring that could transform comfortable assumptions about vacation charity into educational consequences about respect, gratitude, and cultural values worthy of continued travel assistance. The vacation coordination systems that I had been monitoring throughout David and Rebecca's Italian trip planning revealed their systematic preparation for elderly management and cultural superiority, rather than family celebration and cultural learning that honored destination authenticity and community contribution. Their restaurant selections prioritized expensive establishments over cultural authenticity. Their activity planning emphasized luxury consumption over cultural education, and their accommodation preferences reflected social positioning rather than cultural immersion that demonstrated respect for destination heritage and community prosperity. The airline industry connections that would soon provide comprehensive documentation of their travel behavior included real-time monitoring of passenger conduct, service interaction patterns, and cultural sensitivity demonstration throughout their journey to Italy. The flight crew coordination that I maintained through discrete professional networks provided ongoing assessment of guest character and travel worthiness while maintaining complete privacy and operational security that enabled accurate evaluation without compromising guest experience or creating artificial performance pressure. As I observed the sophisticated technological infrastructure that surrounded me in my modest Daly City apartment, monitoring global hospitality markets and guest character patterns simultaneously, I realized that the systems that had built extraordinary wealth while protecting cultural destinations would soon need to evaluate whether David and Rebecca's behavior reflected values worthy of continued luxury travel coordination, or entitled assumptions that violated every principle upon which Hartwell International Holdings had been established to support travelers who demonstrate character, respect, and cultural sensitivity worthy of continued assistance and potential exclusive venue consideration across generations of tourism development and community contribution that honored both individual experience and collective cultural welfare. throughout changing social and economic circumstances. The preliminary character assessment data that I had been accumulating since their vacation invitation revealed systematic patterns of elderly dismissal, cultural superiority assumptions, and luxury entitlement that suggested their Italian vacation would provide perfect opportunities for comprehensive behavioral evaluation and potential intervention coordination that could either address their character challenges through educational programming or demonstrate the consequences that follow when cultural insensitivity and family disrespect threaten destination harmony and foundation mission integrity. The systematic financial dependency assessment that I initiated in February 2024 to evaluate David and Rebecca's complete reliance on Hartwell International Holdings support systems would provide the comprehensive documentation necessary to determine whether their character failures warranted immediate service, restructuring, or if intervention opportunities might address their moral deterioration before requiring more severe consequences that could permanently alter their travel privileges and social positioning within international luxury hospitality communities, inclusive cultural access networks that had shaped their affluent lifestyle and professional advancement throughout Northern California's competitive legal and technology market. The preliminary financial analysis that I conducted throughout February and March 2024 documented every aspect of David and Rebecca's lifestyle that depended on Hartwell International Holdings coordination, from the luxury travel experiences that had defined their social positioning to the exclusive venue access that enabled their cultural entertainment and professional networking throughout international destinations where annual vacation expenses exceeded 100 opportunities that positioned them for continued social advancement and cultural sophistication within competitive professional circles that required substantial financial backing and hospitality industry connections throughout extended leisure coordination and lifestyle management. Coordination analysis revealed that David and Rebecca's ability to access and afford luxury international destinations depended entirely on hospitality industry coordination and exclusive venue arrangements that I provided through carefully structured partnership agreements and membership benefit tour and affair that appeared to reflect their professional success and social networking capabilities, while actually representing systematic travel support that enabled them to achieve luxury travel access standards that would normally require inherited wealth or exceptional professional income most Bay Area legal and technology professionals couldn't maintain without family assistance or extraordinary career advancement and international business development. The detailed examination of David and Rebecca's travel history, vacation expense documentation, and hospitality service coordination revealed systematic financial engineering that I had orchestrated through multiple hospitality industry vehicles and professional networks to ensure their luxury travel capability and ongoing cultural access coordination. The expense-to-income ratios qualified them for exclusive venue membership, and luxury resort access included carefully managed investment, income streams, and hospitality industry benefit coordination that supplemented their combined professional salaries while maintaining complete anonymity through trust arrangements, cultural foundation distributions that prevented detection of family assistance by professional colleagues or social networking contacts who might question their individual financial capability for sustained luxury travel and cultural entertainment. The vacation enhancement and experience coordination that enabled David and Rebecca's travel lifestyle to maintain its cultural sophistication and social positioning within international luxury hospitality markets represented ongoing financial support that extended far beyond initial vacation funding assistance. The private tour coordination that provided them with exclusive cultural access and expert guide services, the restaurant reservations that secured premium dining experiences at internationally acclaimed establishments, and the transportation coordination that included luxury vehicle access, private transfer services, all operated through discrete hospitality arrangements that I coordinated while David and Rebecca assumed. These amenities reflected normal luxury travel coordination that their professional income and social networking could sustain independence. The cultural education and language preparation analysis that documented my systematic support of David and Rebecca's international travel sophistication revealed the comprehensive scope of coordination that enabled their confident navigation of European cultural institutions, Asian hospitality protocols, and international social expectations, where cultural competence represented essential qualification for continued elite travel access and exclusive venue consideration. The language tutoring that prepared them for Italian conversation, the cultural briefing materials that educated them about regional customs and social expectation, and the historical context preparation that enabled sophisticated cultural appreciation, all operated through foundation educational programs that maintained complete anonymity regarding funding sources. The travel insurance and emergency coordination that I maintained through Hartwell International Holdings emergency response networks revealed sophisticated planning that positioned David and Rebecca for optimal travel safety and crisis management, while maintaining complete anonymity regarding coordination sources that enabled their access to premium emergency services, diplomatic assistance capabilities, the comprehensive medical evacuation coverage, crisis communication protocol, and emergency financial assistance programs that protected their international travel included specialized coordination that most travelers could never access without extraordinary insurance coverage or diplomatic status recognition. The lifestyle coordination analysis revealed systematic support for Rebecca's technology industry networking and David's legal profession advancement that enabled their professional development while maintaining their international travel capability and cultural sophistication positioning within competitive Bay Area professional network. The conference attendance coordination that enhanced their professional credentials and industry expertise, the cultural event participation that promoted their social positioning and intellectual development, and the international business travel coordination that connected them with global professional opportunities, all depended on hospitality, industry support and travel coordination assistance that I provided through discrete professional networks and cultural development programs. Transportation coordination that enabled David and Rebecca's family to maintain international travel capabilities, and domestic luxury lifestyle coordination represented another dimension of financial dependency that extended beyond their apparent professional income and social network capabilities. The first-class airline coordination for international destinations, the luxury ground transportation throughout European cultural tours, and the private transfer coordination for exclusive venue access, all required systematic hospitality, industry planning, and partnership management that I coordinated through investment income distributions and membership benefit coordination that maintained their transportation standards while supporting their professional image requirements. The cultural entertainment and exclusive event coordination that characterized David and Rebecca's lifestyle represented substantial ongoing expenses that required careful hospitality, industry planning, and partnership coordination beyond typical legal and technology professional capability. The opera and symphony season subscriptions in major international cultural centers, combined with exclusive museum access and private collection viewing opportunities throughout Europe and Asia, demonstrated cultural consumption patterns that exceeded their apparent household income while maintaining social positioning that supported both David's legal profession, networking, and Rebecca's technology industry client development activity. The emergency travel preparedness assessment that I conducted revealed David and Rebecca's complete lack of independent crisis management capabilities or travel emergency coordination that would enable them to maintain their international travel lifestyle during political disruption, natural disasters, or unexpected medical emergencies that could threaten their safety and travel security without continued Hartwell International Holdings emergency response support the analysis of their personal emergency preparedness, travel crisis insurance coverage, and international assistance coordination revealed systematic dependency on external crisis management that they had never recognized as family assistance, rather than standard luxury travel industry service coordination. The cultural competence analysis documented David and Rebecca's growing reliance on foundation provided cultural education and social positioning support that reflected lifestyle inflation beyond their independent educational capabilities and cultural preparation, including language learning assistance that suggested monthly cultural coordination expenditures exceeding normal professional development budgets, cultural institution membership fees that required ongoing financial assistance to maintain acceptable access level, and international etiquette consultation that maintained their social positioning and cultural navigation confidence throughout luxury travel experiences. The exclusive venue access assessment revealed that David and Rebecca's cultural entertainment portfolio and international travel experiences contained substantially more exclusive access and premium cultural coordination than their individual professional networking and financial contributions could generate, reflecting systematic additional coordination that I provided through carefully structured cultural foundation memberships, hospitality industry partnerships that enhanced their long-term cultural sophistication while maintaining complete anonymity regarding coordination, sources, and family cultural assistance that enabled their lifestyle advancement beyond typical legal and technology professional capabilities. Perhaps the most significant finding of my dependency assessment was the comprehensive scope of professional networking and social advancement support that I had provided through hospitality industry relationships and cultural institution connections that enabled David's progression from associate to senior partner at Morrison & Associates International, and Rebecca's transition from startup entrepreneur to Google acquisition success. The professional references that supported their career advance, the cultural networking opportunities that demonstrated their sophistication and international awareness, and the social positioning coordination that advanced their professional development, all reflected systematic coordination through community hospitality networks rather than individual merit and professional achievement. Comprehensive evaluation of potential intervention strategies versus immediate consequence implementation that would either provide David and Rebecca with character rehabilitation opportunities or deliver the educational justice that their behavioral failures and cultural insensitivity. The planning process required careful consideration of family impact, community education value, and long-term character development outcomes that would either restore their moral foundation and cultural respect or demonstrate to other family members and hospitality industry observers the inevitable consequences of elderly disrespect and cultural superiority. The intervention option assessment included potential approaches for character rehabilitation that might address David and Rebecca's entitled attitudes and restore their appreciation for family support and cultural humility through structured learning experiences and community service requirements. These intervention possibilities included mandatory volunteer work with elderly populations and international cultural preservation programs, family counseling, coordination that addressed relationship dynamics and intergenerational respect within multicultural context, and cultural sensitivity education that would reveal the scope of family support and cultural coordination they had received while building genuine appreciation for generational hospitality industry development and community cultural contribution. The immediate consequence planning involved comprehensive evaluation of travel privilege, restructuring options, hospitality, service, elimination protocols, and community education opportunities that would provide both justice for David and Rebecca's character failures and broader learning experiences for family members and hospitality industry observers
who might benefit from understanding the relationship between character demonstration and continued luxury travel support throughout family wealth management and cultural access coordination. The travel privilege restructuring analysis revealed multiple options for redirecting their expected luxury travel coordination and exclusive venue access toward charitable organizations that supported elderly care, family counseling, and cultural preservation programs throughout international destinations. The legal frameworks that governed these restructuring options included charitable remainder trust arrangements, cultural preservation scholarship, endowment, community development initiatives that would honor Harold's memory while providing lasting benefit to individuals and families who demonstrated the values and character worthy of luxury travel support and cultural access investment. The hospitality service elimination protocols included systematic review of all Hartwell International Holdings assistants that currently enabled David and Rebecca's lifestyle, professional advancement, and cultural positioning coordination. The elimination process would require care coordination to ensure appropriate legal compliance while maximizing educational impact and community awareness that would document the consequences of character failure and elderly disrespect throughout international hospitality networks and luxury travel community. The community education planning involved strategic consideration of public awareness opportunities that would provide broader learning experiences about family loyalty, cultural respect, and the relationship between character demonstration and luxury travel eligibility across multiple generations of hospitality industry development. The education coordination would include professional hospitality industry presentations, cultural institution awareness program, and international travel community coverage that might inspire other families to evaluate their own intergenerational relationships and character development priorities. The timing coordination for potential consequence implementation required careful evaluation of optimal circumstances that would maximize both justice delivery and educational impact while ensuring appropriate documentation and community awareness that would prevent future character failures and encourage family loyalty demonstration throughout international luxury hospitality communities and exclusive cultural access networks. The timing analysis included consideration of seasonal factors, professional networking cycles, and family gathering opportunities that would provide perfect documentation and witness coordination. The legal preparation that supported both intervention and consequence options included comprehensive consultation with international hospitality law attorneys, family counseling specialists, and cultural foundation administrators who could provide expertise and implementation support while maintaining complete confidentiality and operational security throughout any character rehabilitation or travel privilege restructuring process. The legal framework development ensured full compliance with international hospitality industry regulations, tax optimization strategies across multiple jurisdictions, and charitable giving coordination that would protect Hartwell International Holdings operations while achieving optimal educational outcomes. The technology infrastructure preparation that would support comprehensive documentation of David and Rebecca's character assessment and consequence implementation included enhanced monitoring capability, communication systems for coordinating international hospitality network, and evidence preservation protocols that would maintain detailed records of character failure demonstration and justice delivery coordination. The technology systems would ensure optimal documentation while maintaining privacy protection and operational security throughout any intervention or consequence implementation. The international network coordination that would support either intervention or consequence implementation included systematic communication with hospitality, industry leaders, cultural institutions, and educational organizations that might participate in character rehabilitation, community education initiatives that demonstrated the relationship between moral foundation and continued luxury travel support throughout family wealth management and generational planning coordination across international destinations and cultural preservation community. The family communication planning that prepared for either intervention, livery, or immediate consequence implementation included strategic evaluation of appropriate notification methods, witness coordination, and documentation protocols that would ensure optimal educational impact while maintaining family relationship possibilities for future character rehabilitation and moral foundation. The communication strategy would balance justice delivery with potential reconciliation opportunities that honored both accountability and family love throughout character development and relationship healing processes. The psychological preparation that equipped me for the emotional challenges implementing either intervention or severe consequences included consultation with family dynamic specialist and cultural sensitivity counseling professionals who provided guidance for managing the complex emotional processes involved in holding family members accountable for character while maintaining hope for potential rehabilitation and relationship restoration that could honor both justice and love throughout difficult family transition periods and cultural education experiences. The financial coordination that supported both intervention and consequence options include comprehensive portfolio management that would enable either continued family support during character rehabilitation or systematic elimination of travel assistance that would provide educational consequences while protecting Hartwell International Holdings, operations, and community cultural obligations throughout any family restructuring and inheritance planning modifications. As spring transitioned into early summer 2024, the character assessment documentation that I had been accumulating provided increasingly comprehensive evidence of David and Rebecca's moral deterioration, systematic disrespect that threatened not only their travel privilege eligibility, but also their potential for character rehabilitation through intervention programming. The monitoring systems revealed accelerating, entitled attitude, growing dismissiveness toward my supposed financial limitations and cultural knowledge, and increasing alignment with professional networking values that prioritized social positioning over family loyalty and elderly respect, worthy of continued travel support and cultural access consideration. Specific incidents that occurred throughout April and early May 2024 provided perfect documentation of David and Rebecca's character failures and created optimal circumstances for either intervention, delivery, or immediate consequence implementation that would address their moral bankruptcy, providing community education about the relationship between character demonstration and family hospitality support throughout generational wealth transfer and cultural access coordination. The preliminary travel coordination crisis that would ultimately trigger my decision between intervention and immediate consequences began developing through several advance interactions that revealed David and Rebecca's systematic preparation for treating our Italian vacation as elderly care obligation rather than family celebration opportunity that honored intergenerational relationships and cultural learning responsibility. The pattern of behavior that emerged throughout May 2024 suggested strategic coordination between them to minimize elderly inclusion while maximizing their luxury travel enhancement and social positioning priorities that excluded family responsibility and cultural education. The Mother's Day coordination that occurred in May 2024 provided comprehensive documentation of David and Rebecca's systematic efforts to minimize family obligation, while managing their social positioning and professional image coordination. The perfunctory card that arrived through postal delivery, rather than personal presentation, the generic gift selection that reflected minimal thought and cultural consideration, and the absence of invitation for family celebration or cultural activity, revealed systematic devaluation of elderly appreciation and cultural recognition that honored maternal contribution and family foundation throughout cultural development and educational advancement. The vacation preparation communication that characterized David and Rebecca's interaction with me throughout May 2024 revealed systematic reduction and coordination, frequency, and cultural preparation, sharing that treated elderly participation as accommodation rather than family celebration and cultural learning opportunity. The conversations that did occur focused primarily on my supposed travel limitation and cultural preparation needs, while excluding genuine interest in my cultural knowledge, international experience, or personal thoughts about Italian culture and family heritage that might have demonstrated authentic respect and cultural curiosity worthy of continued travel support. The preliminary crisis that occurred during the second week of May, when I contacted David about coordination assistance with supposed passport renewal documentation and international travel preparation, provided comprehensive documentation of his systematic prioritization of professional convenience over family travel support that revealed moral failure, character deterioration, worthy of immediate consequential implementation rather than intervention, opportunities that might address his entitled attitudes through rehabilitation program. David's response to my supposed travel preparation emergency included suggestions that I coordinate with travel agencies for elderly travel assistance and schedule documentation appointments during business hours when professional guidance would be available, demonstrating complete disconnection from family responsibility and elderly travel support obligations that honored lifetime parental contribution and sacrifice throughout educational development and professional advancement. His recommendation that I investigate senior travel programs, provide comprehensive coordination and cultural preparation services, revealed systematic efforts to transfer elderly travel responsibility to institutional providers rather than maintaining family involvement and intergenerational cultural sharing. The character assessment data that accumulated throughout May 2024 provided irrefutable evidence that David and Rebecca's moral foundation had deteriorated beyond rehabilitation potential through intervention programming, while their systematic disrespect and entitled assumptions created perfect justification for immediate consequence and implementation that would provide both educational justice and community awareness about the relationship between characters demonstration and travel privilege eligibility throughout family wealth management and generational cultural coordination. As I prepared for the final character assessment opportunity that would determine their travel privilege eligibility and continued hospitality support, I realized that the airport interaction that would occur during the first week of June 2024 would provide perfect documentation moral bankruptcy and justify the most comprehensive consequences available through Hartwell International Holdings governance and travel privilege structuring that would transform their comfortable assumptions about vacation, charity, into devastating education about respect, gratitude, and family loyalty, worthy of generational wealth transfer and cultural access, coordination throughout international luxury hospitality networks, and exclusive cultural preservation.
The Friday morning departure that would provide the most comprehensive real-time documentation of character failure and family loyalty destruction that any ungrateful relatives had ever demonstrated during international travel coordination occurred on June, creating irrefutable evidence that would justify the most severe hospitality consequences available through Hartwell International Holdings. Governance and travel privilege restructuring that could transform comfortable assumptions about vacation charity into devastating education about respect, responsibility, and the reality that luxury travel access requires demonstration of character worthy of continued family investment and cultural support across generations of international hospitality development and exclusive venue coordination. The preliminary events that led to Rebecca's ultimate character assessment began 3 days earlier when our departure coordination required final travel documentation review and cultural preparation confirmation, standard procedures that any responsible family vacation would include and any loving relatives would honor without question or complaint. My telephone call to David's San Francisco office on Tuesday afternoon, June 4th, was strategically timed to occur during normal business hours, when his professional obligations would test his prioritization of family responsibility versus career advancement and management that had become his dominant concerns throughout Rebecca's systematic influence and social positioning obsession. David, dear, I began with the patient tone that elderly family members use when coordinating complex international travel with busy adult relatives. I wanted to confirm our departure arrangements for Friday morning and make sure we have all the cultural preparation materials organized properly. The Italian cultural briefing documents that Rebecca mentioned seemed quite comprehensive, and I want to ensure I understand the restaurant protocols and museum coordination properly. The immediate hesitation in David's response revealed his systematic preparation for minimizing elderly travel coordination while maintaining the appearance of family inclusion and cultural consideration. Mom, everything should be pretty straightforward, he replied with the kind of calculated reassurance that demonstrated extensive practice in elderly management and obligation deflection. Rebecca has handled most of the reservations and cultural activity. You'll probably just need to follow our lead on restaurant etiquette and museum navigation. We've done this type of luxury travel coordination before. The suggestion that I simply follow their lead on cultural navigation and international travel protocols perfectly demonstrated David's systematic disconnection from elderly capabilities and cultural knowledge, while providing convenient solutions that eliminated recognition of my potential contribution to family cultural education and travel experience enhancement. His immediate assumption about my cultural limitations revealed both his condescension about elderly international experience and his prioritization of control over collaborative family cultural exploration that honored intergenerational wisdom and shared learning. I appreciate your coordination efforts, I explained with appropriate elderly gratitude while carefully documenting his patronizing assumptions. I do have some previous experience with Italian culture and international travel that might be helpful to share. Perhaps we could review the itinerary together so I can contribute any cultural insights that might enhance our family experience. The growing impatience in David's voice became increasingly apparent as elderly cultural contribution conflicted with his systematic planning for vacation control and social positioning requirements. Mom, we've really got this handled. Rebecca spent months researching the best restaurants and cultural sites. We've coordinated with premium travel services and exclusive access providers. This isn't really the kind of trip where we need to adjust plans for different experience levels and cultural preparation needs. The systematic elderly dismissal and cultural competence assumptions revealed David's strategic planning for excluding family input, while maintaining control over vacation experiences that might interfere with his lifestyle optimization and social networking priorities. His reference to different experience levels demonstrated complete disconnection from family wisdom and cultural traditions that honored elderly knowledge, while maintaining intergenerational relationships through shared cultural exploration and collaborative learning experience. I understand you've made extensive preparations, I replied with the gentle persistence that elderly family members use when cultural contributions require negotiation and diplomatic family coordination. Perhaps I could share some thoughts about Italian cultural customs and travel protocols that might complement your research. I'd hate for us to miss any opportunities for authentic cultural engagement during our time together. The solution that David ultimately proposed revealed his systematic approach to minimizing elderly cultural input, while maintaining minimal compliance with family inclusion expectations. Look, Mom, If you have specific cultural questions during the trip, we can probably address them as they come up. Rebecca has arranged for professional tour guides and cultural coordinators who can handle any special needs or educational requirements. It's probably best to let the experts manage the cultural aspects while we focus on family time and relaxation. The dismissal of my potential cultural contribution while emphasizing professional guide dependency represented the most insulting form of family relationship management. Elderly wisdom as inferior resource rather than opportunity for authentic cultural sharing and family bonding that honored generational knowledge and cultural experience. His suggestion that professional guides would handle any special needs revealed complete ignorance about cultural learning opportunities and intergenerational wisdom while demonstrating systematic devaluation of family cultural heritage and shared experiences. The Wednesday evening telephone conversation that preceded our Thursday final preparation provided additional character assessment data as David and Rebecca's growing impatience with family coordination needs revealed systematic preparation for more definitive elderly management and cultural control elimination. Mom, I thought we resolved the cultural preparation questions yesterday. Rebecca interjected during our call with obvious irritation and inconvenience that treated elderly cultural interest as ongoing burden rather than normal family responsibility and learning opportunity. I'm still hoping we might coordinate some cultural activities that would honor our family heritage and create meaningful shared experiences. I explained with appropriate elderly enthusiasm about cultural exploration and family bonding. Perhaps we could visit some of the historical sites that Harold and I discussed during our early marriage, or explore some traditional Italian customs that might connect our family history with contemporary cultural appreciation. The ultimate solution that Rebecca proposed revealed her systematic preparation for definitive family management and elderly cultural limitation through minimal accommodation that eliminated authentic participation while maintaining appearance of inclusion. Margaret, we've already coordinated a very full itinerary with premium cultural experiences and exclusive venue access. Adding additional activities or changing our professional tour coordination could really disrupt the luxury travel experience we've planned. Maybe you could enjoy the cultural sites we visit and ask questions during the guided tours. Thursday morning, June 6, 2024, arrived with perfect weather conditions and optimal timing for comprehensive character assessment and documentation that would determine David and Rebecca's travel privilege eligibility and continued hospitality support through Hartwell International Holdings governance and family loyalty evaluation protocols. The spring sunshine streaming through my Daly City apartment windows created ideal conditions for the monitoring systems that would record every detail of family interaction patterns and elderly respect demonstration during what would become the most expensive lesson about gratitude and cultural values that any entitled relatives had ever received. David and Rebecca's arrival at 7:30 a.m. for final departure coordination revealed their systematic preparation for efficient elderly management and prompt cultural control establishment that minimized authentic family involvement while fulfilling minimal compliance with inclusion expectations. Their coordinated travel attire, matching luxury luggage sets, designer travel clothing, premium accessories appropriate for exclusive venue access, communicated cultural sophistication and travel experience that positioned elderly participation as charitable accommodation rather than family celebration and shared cultural exploration. The preliminary conversation that occurred in my apartment entrance revealed David and Rebecca's systematic impatience and control management as they immediately positioned themselves for rapid coordination completion and cultural authority establishment. "Good morning, Margaret," Rebecca said with perfunctory pleasantness that suggested extensive practice in elderly management efficiency and social optimization. "We're running a bit tight on airport timing, so we should probably head out soon." The premium check-in process and security coordination can take extra time for international travel, especially when coordinating different travel experience levels. The family interaction patterns that I observed during their brief apartment visit provided comprehensive documentation of their systematic disconnection from elderly cultural knowledge and family relationship maintenance. Their distracted attention to smartphone travel confirmation, their obvious discomfort with my modest living environment, and their immediate focus on departure efficiency revealed complete transformation from family members who had once valued cultural sharing and intergenerational learning over travel convenience and social positioning requirement. I really appreciate you including me in this cultural exploration opportunity, I replied with appropriate elderly gratitude that masks sophisticated character assessment and consequence preparation. I know how sophisticated your travel coordination has become, and I don't want to interfere with the exclusive access and premium experiences you've arranged for our family cultural education. The moment that would provide perfect justification for systematic revelation and consequences occurred when we arrived at San Francisco International Airport and approached the premium check-in area where David and Rebecca's first-class reservations would be processed separately from my economy-class accommodation. The gesture itself, the assumption that elderly family members automatically received inferior travel coordination, demonstrated complete disconnection from family dignity and cultural respect that honored lifetime contribution and wisdom sharing. Here's the thing, Mom, Rebecca said while reviewing boarding pass confirmations on her smartphone with casual authority that revealed complete confidence in her travel coordination superior. We double-checked the flight arrangements, and unfortunately there seems to be some confusion about the seating coordination. Our travel agent confirmed that the first-class section is completely booked, and they weren't able to upgrade your reservation to match our accommodation level. Systematic elderly humiliation that Rebecca delivered while standing in the premium airport check-in area provided irrefutable evidence of character failure that justified immediate revelation and devastating consequences through Hartwell International Holdings resource coordination and travel privilege restructuring. Her casual suggestion that some confusion explained my inferior travel accommodation, while she maintained luxury seating, revealed moral bankruptcy and family loyalty destruction that violated every principle of intergenerational respect and cultural dignity. Actually, Rebecca continued with the patronizing concern that demonstrated her systematic preparation for elderly disappointment management. We talked about this and we think it might actually be better if you took a later flight. That way you could have more time to get settled and coordinate any special assistance you might need for international travel. We could meet you in Tuscany once you arrive, and it might be less stressful for everyone involved. The comprehensive silence that followed this announcement revealed the systematic shock that accompanies complete worldview destruction, and the recognition that fundamental assumptions about family loyalty and travel inclusion were entirely wrong. The airport travelers and airline staff who had assumed they were observing routine family travel coordination suddenly realized they were witnessing the systematic abandonment of an elderly family member during international vacation departure. Ladies and gentlemen, I announced to the gathering of shocked passengers and airline personnel who had been observing our family coordination and assumed they were witnessing normal luxury travel planning. I believe there has been some confusion about travel authority and family coordination in this situation. Attention that our conversation was attracting from airport security and premium service coordinators created exactly the kind of community education opportunity that would ensure comprehensive awareness of the lesson about respect and character that was about to unfold through systematic revelation of hidden hospitality authority and travel industry coordination that would transform comfortable assumptions about elderly travel limitations into devastating education about cultural wisdom and international experience. I continued while observing the growing confusion on David and Rebecca's faces as the scope of their misunderstanding began to become apparent. I am Dame Margaret Adelaide Hartwell, founder and controlling shareholder of Hartwell International Holdings, a $1.2 billion luxury hospitality empire that owns the airline you're flying on, the resort you're staying, and controls the exclusive cultural access and premium venue coordination that makes your Italian vacation possible. The comprehensive silence that greeted this announcement revealed the systematic shock that accompanies complete worldview destruction, and the recognition that fundamental assumptions about elderly limitations and family authority were entirely wrong. The airport personnel and premium service coordinators who had assumed they were observing normal family budget coordination
suddenly realized they were witnessing the systematic revelation of hidden wealth and travel industry authority that would transform comfortable assumptions about vacation charity into devastating education of respect requirements and character demonstration. The luxury travel experiences that enabled you to develop your cultural sophistication, I continued while observing the growing horror on their faces as the scope of their dependency became apparent, including the exclusive venue access that supported your social positioning, the premium cultural coordination that enhanced your international experience, and the comprehensive travel support that made your affluent lifestyle possible, actually represents systematic foundation benefits that require ongoing demonstration of family loyalty and elderly respect as conditions for continued travel support and cultural access eligibility. David and Rebecca's expressions revealed their systematic processing of information that challenged every assumption about travel independence, cultural authority and vacation entitlement while demonstrating their complete dependency on foundation systems that required character demonstration and family loyalty that they had systematically violated through elderly dismissal and cultural superiority priorities that threatened their continued eligibility for any form of travel support or cultural access consideration. David and Rebecca, I said with the patient explanation that elderly wisdom provides when adult relatives finally demonstrate readiness to understand consequences and character development, the exclusive Italian vacation that you've been planning, including the comprehensive cultural access that would enable your continued social positioning and international sophistication, has been coordinated entirely through foundation resources that I have been managing since your early professional development. The travel documentation that the airport premium services coordinator retrieved from his secure communication system and placed before us provided immediate visual confirmation of the hospitality industry agreements, exclusive venue coordination, and cultural access management that govern their expected vacation experience while demonstrating the foundation authority and resource coordination that made their luxury travel possible through character-based hospitality management and family loyalty assessment systems that required elderly respect and cultural sensitivity for continued eligibility and exclusive access consideration. The systematic dismissal of elderly family members during routine travel coordination, I explained while their comfortable assumptions about vacation authority collapsed around their understanding of reality, represents exactly the kind of character failure that justifies immediate travel privilege restructuring and foundation benefit elimination, that protects cultural destinations while providing education about risk and the moral foundation necessary for sustainable travel relationships and generational hospitality stewardship that honors elderly wisdom while building community cultural prosperity. The Hartwell International Holdings coordinator who materialized within 15 minutes, Dr. Elena Rossetti, whose character assessment reports had documented the escalating problems with David and Rebecca's elderly respect attitudes and cultural sensitivity demonstration, throughout the past year brought the official notice of travel privilege restructuring and cultural independence transition, would provide them with comprehensive education about the difference between earned cultural access and gifted support that required ongoing character demonstration and family loyalty. David, Hartwell and Rebecca Chen, Rossetti announced to the gathering of shocked airport personnel who were witnessing the most comprehensive lesson about character and hospitality consequences that any entitled family members had ever received. This notice initiates immediate restructuring of your travel privilege allocation and suspension of all Hartwell International Holdings benefits, including luxury travel support, exclusive venue coordination, and cultural access assistance pending character assessment review that will determine your continued eligibility for any form of hospitality assistance, based on demonstrated elderly respect and family loyalty. The Travel Independence Coordination Notice, that arrived by secure diplomatic courier 30 minutes later, informed David and Rebecca that their expected luxury Italian vacation would be restructured to economy class independence travel, requiring them to navigate cultural experiences, accommodation, coordination, without foundation support, while learning that true cultural appreciation requires demonstration of values and family loyalty, rather than simply assuming entitlement to exclusive access, based on family relationship or professional achievement alone. The immediate consequence implementation that Dr. Rossetti coordinated throughout the following hour provided David and Rebecca with comprehensive education about the actual cost of luxury international travel, exclusive cultural venue access, and premium hospitality service, coordination that they had been taking for granted, while assuming their comfort reflected personal cultural sophistication, rather than systematic family support that required character demonstration, and elderly respect that honored the wisdom and experience that built generational hospitality industry development through decades of careful cultural preservation and resource management. The community impact that resulted from David and Rebecca's character assessment and travel privilege consequence implementation created lasting education about elderly respect and cultural sensitivity throughout international hospitality networks and luxury travel communities. The story of how dismissive relatives learned that abandoning their elderly family member at an airport could cost them their entire vacation and cultural access became legendary documentation of the consequences that follow when character failures and elderly disrespect threaten family cultural harmony and hospitality privilege eligibility, while demonstrating the foundation, principles and community values that govern generational wealth transfer and cultural coordination. As for their Italian vacation, while David and Rebecca struggled with economy class seating, budget accommodation, and tourist-level cultural access, I enjoyed the presidential suite at Villa Rossetti in Tuscany, a property I had owned for 37 years, where the staff welcomed me with the respect and cultural appreciation that elderly wisdom deserves, surrounded by the authentic Italian hospitality and cultural immersion that can only be experienced when character and respect create the foundation for meaningful travel and genuine cultural exchange. The story of how cruel relatives learned that dismissing their elderly family member during vacation coordination could cost them their entire luxury travel lifestyle and cultural access became the most expensive lesson about respect and family loyalty that any ungrateful relatives had ever received. Sometimes the most powerful education you can provide manipulative family members is comprehensive understanding that elderly wisdom and cultural authority aren't optional conveniences that disappear when they become inconvenient for personal travel plans and social positioning. Their assumption that they could abandon me at the airport with casual dismissal transformed into the devastating recognition that they were the ones whose entire cultural lifestyle depended on hospitality systems they had never suspected. The grandmother they humiliated with travel abandonment turned out to control not just their vacation, coordination, and cultural access, but their entire social positioning and international sophistication, teaching them that respect for aging family members isn't just moral obligation, it's practical necessity for anyone who wants to maintain cultural access and travel privileges in families where character determines prosperity and elderly wisdom guides generational hospitality management. Remember, family travel harmony and cultural access, built on genuine character and intergenerational respect, create foundations for lasting cultural appreciation and authentic international experience, while elderly dismissal and casual abandonment destroy not only family bonds, but also the moral foundation necessary for sustainable travel relationships and generational cultural transfer that honors wisdom and experience alongside innovation and adventure that serves collective family welfare and community cultural prosperity across generations. Up next, you've got two more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.